Okay.
I'm eating cookies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of MFA. Hi, my name is Randika, and I'm the angry spirit of Firelord Ozai wreaking havoc in the spirit world because a certain someone didn't kill me.
Hi, my name's Carmen, and I have made a pact with the spirit of light to inhabit my body for the next 10,000 years, to be reincarnated into new generations of people, to have all four elements and protect people and keep spirits and people in harmony. And welcome to this week's meeting of Monsters Fuckers Anonymous.
Yay!
Yay! This week we'll be talking about Legend of Korra, seasons 1 and 2, because that's where Randika's at right now. Yeah.
I just say, start off this episode with women. Women
won in this series. Hot women won in this series. Dumb women won in this series. Muscly women won in this series.
We're connected to the spirits and philosophy won in this series.
Dark-skinned Asian women won in this series. You know who didn't win in this series? Mako. Trash. Flopko. Stan Flopko for bad skin and
Flopko.
Never dating someone who likes you.
I'm going to start off by just tearing this love triangle to shreds because I'm pissed.
It's terrible.
So they expect us to be oh wow, what a great relationship, when Asami runs into Mako and has zero interaction with him, and she's like, we're dating. If you wanted to have a couple that early, it should have been Korra and Mako, because they actually knew each other and they actually had a relationship.
And you could do an enemies to lovers real quick.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Oh my god, tea. When we get our mugs, this is going to be very fun.
Oh my god, yes. This is going to be so good. And be hi, look at our mugs. Exclusive content only.
Literally. That did not light up anything. Is this better? This is not better.
But yeah,
I don't have a ring light, so I'm faking it till I make it with lamps around the house.
I should get the ring light. I wish there was a ring light for my laptop.
Yeah, ring lights don't attach to anything. They stand behind wherever you. Yeah.
My lighting?
It's like a vanity with those mirrors.
Okay. Because my lighting is bad because my hair and my black shirt are just kind of connected.
Sam. Yeah, the love triangle was terrible. The plotting, because Nickelodeon nerfed the fuck out of them with this 1 season plus 3 extra seasons out of nowhere deal. Season 1's good. I think people.
Solid. I thought it could have a good if it ended there, I wouldn't have been too angry. I would have wanted more development, but it set up a really good ending, and then coming to season 2, there's all the development we had in season 1. Bye, new people now. They're the same characters, but they're completely different people.
Yeah, they did Sabrina this show a little bit.
Oh my god.
Riverdale. They did a little bit of Riverdale. They did a little bit of Sabrina. Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Check our former episode about that out. But yeah, no, it's tragic because season 1 is fine. I would tell people, my elevator pitch for Korra is the same. I give it to everyone who hasn't watched it. It's 4 minutes long. But it's basically like Korra is a great show. It talks about a lot of different issues. It introduces the Avatar as an actual political figure instead of like
Danamon.
someone who just like fights.
Yeah.
Because even though Aang is very peaceful, all he basically does is fight, and then he solves problems occasionally, but half the time he's causing problems. And so it's really interesting to see like Korra be responsible for
She's
people.
like a political figure. Like when she comes, like when she first leaves, like her like the South Pole, like she's instantly like a political figure, and like
Yeah,
Aang is not a political figure. His sole like sole responsibility is like creating peace and like
yeah,
no like the Earth King and like the North and Southern tribes weren't like looking to him for like political guidance or whatever. They're like,
yeah,
please kill the Fire Lord.
yeah. It's interesting because it assumes that there is more responsibility on the Avatar's shoulders than actual political public official representatives. Like the mayor does not face like he faces flack, but like he's as corrupt as any politician in the United States today. And they did a very purposeful job of making it clear that it's like he's a piece of shit. He doesn't do anything, and he's just trying to get reelected. Korra, however, because she is not elected and because she is like imbued with the power to that she needs to be like some kind of peacemaker, is completely fucked because and all the people in the city and all the people in other nations are like, oh, but aren't you responsible for this? And oh, aren't you responsible for that? And da 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 da. Like when she goes to her hometown, then suddenly she's responsible for the fate of her entire culture, but then also responsible for making sure that it's peaceful. And it's like, no, but you're the one who brought military ships into our harbor.
Yeah.
It's never Unalaq's fault somehow.
And like she isn't supposed to take sides. Like she's like, oh no, like you should side with the South. When like
Right.
she is picking sides then, but like if she were to like fix this like situation, like what she doesn't, but like if she was to do that, she would have to tell them both to stop fighting and to unite. And like neither one's gonna do that. So like she has no place in that conflict, but they still drag her into it because they have this. I feel like I have so many issues I could talk about, but I do like it. But there are also issues I have. But I literally, I hate Mako, Korra, Asami love triangle. I was like, okay, we can have a love triangle, but no. Why do they keep on and off getting together? I'm tired. I'm tired of this. I hate on and off relationships. And if you're gonna make it a love triangle, I also hate that. I'm just, why couldn't they just stayed broken up and not gotten back together? But no, because men and women can't be friends.
Yeah. So that's the thing is though, Aang did take sides. Aang took the side of the Air Nation and every other nation.
Yeah.
Because the Fire Nation needed to be put down.
I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true.
And so like the idea, like when Unalaq says Korra shouldn't be taking sides, or other people are like, you need to be impartial. You need to be neutral. It's just not realistic. And it's like she needs to be motivated by the welfare of the people. But so does every other leader in the country. Like it's like it because she's somehow the Avatar, it's not other people's responsibility to also be responsible for their own people.
Yeah.
And I think that's what really this show explores, because in ATLA it's like, yeah, Aang's responsible for taking down the Fire Lord because no one else can do it somehow.
Yeah.
Which I suppose that's true because he's a very powerful bender and like assassination attempts have been made and they have failed. But he also is the person who's like, I'm neutral in a sense. I can say as an outside party, this is not okay. And I don't know. It's just like they like to confuse what her role is, because they don't want to actually face their own consequences of their actions.
Yeah, and like they can't turn to like the Avatar to be like, oh, can you like settle this like tribal conflict that has been like imbued by history? I mean, Aang does do that, but it isn't his like responsibility to do it. He does it because he wants to help them. Like in the episode where they're crossing
the ravine. Mm-hmm.
Crossing the ravine and they're and like Sokka's like, don't like Sokka and Katara like don't get involved. Like this is like, you don't know their history or whatever. And like their responsibility to like sort it out. And it's like, I want to help. So like it should be out of like the goodwill of like the Avatar to like fix like tribal conflicts, because like they're rooted in so much more than the Avatar, like or like the Avatar or a single person can fix.
Right. Yeah, like honestly though, like a lot of the other previous avatars were like, oh, there wasn't like a military dictator who wanted to mass genocide people, so I didn't do anything. Like the water tribe guy previous to Korra was like, yeah, bro, I just surfed and shit because I didn't have a
Politically,
job
he
to
did
do.
nothing, but like spirit-wise, he did do stuff. Politically,
Yeah,
he didn't do anything, and he didn't
right.
have to. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like he,
and then yeah, and then what's her name?
Yongchen, Yoshi.
Kyoshi. Kyoshi was like, yeah, there was a military dictator during my time, and I fucked him up.
Yeah, I killed him. I killed him
Yeah,
actually. Yeah, I
yeah.
killed him. You don't have to do this trial. I killed him. Yeah.
Like just out of the yeah. So it's funny. And then Roku failed to do his job, which was kill the Fire Lord because he was gay and useless.
Yeah.
And look what happened. An entire culture wiped out. So
All Roku's fault.
yeah. Oh my god, the
Flopku, Flopku.
yeah, Flopku and Flopko. The meme that's like, God, I hate colonizers. Me with Azula and Zuko.
Okay, but like they are 10, so like who
Yeah.
did they colonize? Well, I guess Azula technically colonized Boston. Uh, she conquered it. She didn't colonize it.
Yeah. Yeah, they did like there are Fire Nation colonies, but they're like when they're fighting in other countries, I don't know, that's
So technically,
the
they
the
committed
people well, I mean like the it was leading up to colonization.
yeah, they were military. They committed military crimes.
Yes, they are war criminals. They need to be convicted by the Hague.
They're
The
work. They are
the
50-year-old war criminals.
the Geneva suggestions.
Suggestions. Can you violate the Geneva Convention in this video game?
I love that. I love that. No.
Ooh, also,
Yes.
I want to talk about Amon. Stan Amon for clear skin.
Stan him on for clear skin. Oh my god, his skin was so clear.
Yeah, his skin
When
was
that makeup came off,
big.
full face.
Make face snatch.
Amon doing his mask reveal was true tea.
Yeah,
Uh,
like he was just like such an interesting villain, and like he actually like I feel like we've talked about this before. Like he made like several points, even though
yeah,
he's kind of like a faker. But like
yeah.
if like there are people in like your city who can like burn down your house with a snap of a finger, of course, like
And I'm expected to just think that's okay. Like,
yeah,
no.
like the cabbage merchant, like the gang continuously like completely like annihilated his business, and he was just supposed to be like, "Oops, that's
Right,
fine." Like
right.
I wish they'd actually explored that more, and like maybe season 2 they could have had like stuff about like offering protections for people who are non-benders.
Right. Yeah, no, it's interesting. Like there's a lot of considerations that go into it. Like Amon and Unalak and the villains you haven't met yet all make like very they all have at least one thing that makes a lot of sense.
Okay, not
Amon I
Unalaq
think
though.
is Amon is one of the villains that makes a lot of sense. Unalak makes less sense, but I mean it is true that like people have forgotten the spiritual ways and then spirits are getting angry and that's bad. But
That's cool. But let's be talking about Amon.
yeah, but like Amon Stan, like he was
Like he's
correct. He was
correct. He
absolutely
said
correct.
all he did was make bangers.
Yeah. Not a lie to be found. Not
And
a
I mean
single lie.
also like when he had his like revolution or whatever, like um Harlock literally put all of these like innocent people in prison
Yes.
for no reason. So like it
And
just
it
like
was specifically
literally created
non-benders. Like
monsters.
it wasn't just everyone. Like it wasn't benders and non-benders. It was like no, non-benders.
He's like, oh, you're a non-bender outside of your house, jail. You're
Past
in
curfew,
here.
literally.
And this pregnant woman's like, girl, I'm just pregnant. I'm trying to have my kids. I don't have time for revolution. Yeah, literally. It's like because like they could have like had a lot more built. Like even though like they lost their like political figure or leader or whatever, like I'm sure these people
Yeah.
still have these sentiments. And it's like
Yeah.
really dumb that they just were like, we'll just like nerf this plot point. And like, I don't know, it just made me really irritated to go from like a season with like a well thought out villain whose like points made sense, and like to go to like Unalaq, who was correct. Like it was, I agree with him. Like the spirit, losing the spiritual way was bad, but like his whole thing is like, power, I want to rule stuff. Like legit, like what? Like I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I'm tired of you.
Also, there's way too many plot lines in season 2. Like season 1 is like one plot line.
Yeah.
Season 2 is like 3 plot lines.
Yeah, you got Unalaq, you got Mako going to jail.
It's 4 plot lines. The 2 episodes where we spend entirely in the past.
Okay.
Dealing with the old Avatar. There's Mako's storyline, there's Belin's storyline, there's Asami's storyline. There's when they're in the South, there's when they're in Republic City.
Oh my God, they're fighting the war.
It's ridiculous.
And like the Rav and Batu thing were like supposed to go together, but it did not mesh well at all. Like you really could have introduced like the old spirits in like such a better way than by creating like a civil war that is just like completely sidelined, and then they revisit it and they come back to it again. They like ignore it, and I'm just like,
what? Honestly, they could have done like the whole like Unalaq could have been the villain of season 2, and they could have done the old spirits, and they could have just done it without the civil war.
Exactly.
And it would have made it a lot cleaner, just a lot cleaner. But that didn't happen. So.
Or they could have like had like Unalaq and Varric like working together or something.
Yes.
Like Varric is like a very interesting character.
I love Varric.
Really good look into like capitalists and how capitalists are evil.
Yes.
Like,
and he's like, oh yes, I paid him, so he works for me now. Talking about the mayor, and it's like, this is ridiculous.
It's like so good, and like they really dropped the ball on
that. Yeah. Oh, what else did I want to say? So everything that you hate about season 2 does get spun into gold. So the love triangle, the conclusion to the love triangle is so satisfying, because it's a lot about like learning why on and off romance is terrible. The things you hate about the political situation, again, you learn lessons about why they suck. Just like there's a lot of life lessons that happen because of the messy shit that happened in season 1 and 2 because of Nickelodeon, that like the writers by season 3 and 4 were able to like collect themselves and write a good narrative, and also like incorporate what they wrote previously. Okay. So I really appreciate like what happens in season 3 and 4. I think they're some of the best seasons.
I'm excited because I've heard really good things about like the next villains, like the Red Lotus.
Yes.
I heard people want more backstory. Like I've heard good things, about the Red Lotus and about Kuvira. So I'm like excited to meet them, and I'm ready to get past this. Like, just ready for Unalaq to die, because I don't care about him. I'm annoyed. I'm sick of him. Get him off my screen, just like Mako.
Yeah.
This series did just give us so much women. We have like little girls who are like so smart and sweet. We have like Kia. We have
honestly. We do. No, I think this is the largest range of women we get of ages. Like in ATLA, it's like 7 14-year-old girls, and that's cool. I like them all, but we don't get like a lot of variation. And in Legend of Korra, we get very old women in the shape of Katara, and I think someone else. We get like middle-aged women in Kaya and Lin, and people you meet in season 3 and 4, and Pema, and like a couple other people.
Oh yeah.
We get young girls. We get young adult women. So and teenagers like Asami and Korra, and I guess I would group Janora into this category. The oldest of the girls is a little bit more like Korra's age.
I feel like Janora is like maybe like in
tween.
School, I feel like.
Yeah, like an 11-year-old. But yeah, then you get the young Airbender children, which is very fun. You get even more women characters next season. Like it just the cast of women characters grows with each season, which is not something that we usually see. So it's great. It's really great. and it's very less like dangerous femininity, I think. Like I think what happened in Atla, which was a very good series, like Mai and Ty Lee and Azula become these kind of like Asian dragon women stereotypes a little bit, like to some degree, not completely, but a little bit, inhabiting the role of like mysterious, emo, will throw a knife at you. And it's just like that's kind of it. Is like when you first meet them, at least they grow to have depth. But in this series it's a lot more like girls who have connection to the spirit world because of this reason or that reason, and like the ways that people develop and grow. Like I think it was really cool to have who's the character? Is Janora the oldest of the children?
Yeah, she's the oldest.
So Janora is a very interesting character to me because she is quiet and unassuming.
Child, I think. Actually, I don't know. I'm mixing them up now. Now I'm confused.
I feel bad.
Actually, no. Janora's the oldest.
Janora. Iki, yes. Iki's the middle child. Okay.
Like
Yeah. So what Janora is like this like kind of more adultish, but also kind of like she seems more mature and she seems very quiet. But then she's the one who's bullying Iki a little bit, and like when Tenzin is like, you must promise me that you'll never be like this when you grow up. Janora's like, I will make no such promises. And it's like, you know, she's a little bit of wild child while also being like a very quiet child. And then Iki is like, talk, smile a minute, but then is the one who gets like, I think the connection to this like spirits and like very alone and like all these other kinds of things. And it's like exploring that people have different facets to them and aren't just like one single thing all the time.
Yeah.
Which I like a lot. I like that a lot.
I love women. Like perfect.
Also, Kaya, canon lesbian. We have no choice but to stand.
I saw that Aang helped her find a girlfriend, and I was like,
I'm emotional.
You know, yeah. I'm excited. A good this episode, this meeting.
Yes. Thank you for attending this week's meeting of Monsterfuckers Anonymous. And remember, it's always okay
to be a monsterfucker.
See you in the next one. Bye.